Hey, what's up, Mass Fam? It's me, Austin Marin, with my final project, and today we're gonna do a walk and talk. Okay, first question is at Ren P asks, how can the Chicano movement relate to the civil rights movement? I don't think they not only relate, I think they go hand in hand. Some people see the Chicano movement as a subroot or a branch from the civil rights movement, and I think it's true. Both took place during the same time. However, the Chicano movement first started off as just merely being a way for the farm laborers to increase their conditions. All they wanted was better wages, better housing conditions, better schools for the kids and families. But Cesar Chavez saw this opportunity to make it into a civil rights issue and not only help the farm laborers, but also help out the whole Mexican American community in the U.S. And I think both succeeded in what they wanted to do. Although it might not be amazing or terrific conditions at this moment, it's still better than back then. And both Chavez and MLK, I believe, hold the same distinction, and they can both hold the same respect and the same admiration because I believe both achieved the same things for both their own groups. At Anonymous asks, do you know any artists that take an interest in Chicano American issues? The first one I think is Guillermo Gomez Pena. We went over him in class. He's San Francisco based. He's kind of radical. I see him come radical. He's outlandish, he's outrageous, but I believe his aim in doing so is justified because in his performances, he embodies stereotypes, and in doing so, he acts such outrageously to just emphasize how outrageous it is that we confine people and confine groups to these social constructs, to these stereotypes, to these ideals that we just place them on without even knowing them. And that does raise the question of why is it that society makes such structures and makes such rules and makes us actually think outside the box. Also, some of their actors that are more recent that are more mainstream are James Edwards Olmos. He's an old school guy that doesn't come out that much, but he did tackle the issues and he did at least give us some representation in the big screens. The movie where he's a teacher just emphasizes how Chicano youth need education to better their lives and how the school systems don't really enforce them or empower them to do so. And that's based in LA, and with prior history knowledge, we know that the East LA walkouts in the 60s tried to just help improve their conditions, and kids didn't walk out just to be rebels and riot. They just walked out because they wanted better education, because they knew education is the way for a better lifestyle. Two other people are George Lopez. As a kid growing up, seeing his sitcom on TV I took pride and I was excited watching it because although it was comedy, it did tackle issues at times, and it's just nice to see a brown man on TV when you're a brown kid growing up. It gives you satisfaction knowing that you're represented and that there's someone who can stand for you and who can represent your beliefs, your culture, and ideology. Some other guy is Danny Trejo, and although he may somewhat hurt because he symbolizes the macho gangster LA man, it's better than nothing. He's a representative, and one movie in Machete 2, I believe, he goes against a corrupt Robert De Niro, who was governor, and just shows and tries to empower the Chicano community by taking down a corrupt government. Next question, Angelica G asks, do you think having mass passes in school helps people learn about the mass community? I say undoubtedly yes. Me and my friends, sadly, we're all Mexican American youth, we're all growing up, but we don't really have any knowledge about our people and about our history in this country. And I think knowing the backstories of Cesar Chavez, Dolores Huerta, Reyes Tijerina and their struggles in their own respective fields kind of helps. It's good to be aware and be cognizant of the prior struggles that our people and Mexican Americans were once exposed to. And I think it's needed because before we can help improve our struggle and our movements in the present and in the future, it's good to understand our past. And by knowing how they approach said problems and said situations, I think it's key to know our figures and key to know how they approach such dire problems. Next question is similar to the one we asked before. At Chavez Mas asks, do you think mask should be mandatory for high school? Not mandatory, but I believe it should be offered because, like I said, it's not good knowing being a Mexican American youth and still not having the same, and still not knowing the history of our people in this country. We just know about key rights leaders such as MLK, and we know what he did, but people like Chavez, we just know the name Chavez. But before this course, I didn't know his approach. I didn't know what exactly. I knew it was for farm laborers, but I didn't know to the extent that he made the farm labor movement to a civil rights movement. I didn't know about other key figures that aren't well known as Chavez, but they each do their own part in establishing and enforcing the Chicano movement and the Chicano ideal of being more represented in society and stop being so oppressed. And the 60s was a time for counterculture, a time for change, and I believe that they took this opportunity, these youths, these people in their 20s and 30s, to not only help themselves but help better generations and help the future, such as me and such as my fellow people who are Mexican Americans in this country. Now we're going on to Mas Extra, where we don't tackle key Mexican American questions, but it's similar to it, but it's like for fun facts. First question, at Diggersman asks, what is your opinion in regards to the Mexican cartel violence and government corruption? That's a very good question. I'm very passionate, my dad even more, about the conditions in Mexico. My dad has always stated that Mexico has the resources, has the culture, has the people, has the work ethic to be a great nation, but sadly the corruption and all the gang violence always stops it. And these officials, rather than help improve my people's conditions, my grandparents, my cousins, my family's conditions in Mexico, rather than improve it, it's been stagnant. And sure, the Mexican Revolution in the 1900s improved the land ownership, but from then on, it's been the same. That's the reason my dad had to leave the country at 17 years old, and hopefully, once Peña Nieto's term is over, and with this new cycle coming in this fall, I hope that El Peje López Obrador wins, because I believe he is the true answer, the key to change in Mexico. And I hope he wins, because I actually believe that he can bring forth a tremendous change and move and finally make Mexico a great country that it was always meant to be, and progress it forward rather than keep it stagnant or make it even worse. Last question. Adam Prentice asks, in which Mexican state is Cancun located? Not really like a hard question, but like a heartfelt question, but a question nonetheless. I believe Cancun is located in Quintana Roo, and if not, then it's in the Yucatan Peninsula for sure. Yeah, that's it. Okay, thank you so much for seeing this video, watching it. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Peace.